Tuesday's storm, and at least 3 dozen were injured, but officials say that number is likely a lot higher.
Tornadoes have been wreaking havoc throughout the country this year.
I know! This is the house! We're gonna have to turn around!
Most of the destruction is in what they call Tornado Alley, but what we're going to show you today was on the East Coast.
Tonight, breaking news. The severe weather threat moves to the East Coast after a weekend of deadly tornadoes.
Brimfield, Massachusetts, to be exact.
Windshield on the boat! Yeah, man! No more windshield.
At Quinebaug Cove Campground. Look at this destruction, and we're going to talk about it. We're also going to talk about how they made an amazing comeback. All on this week's episode. And before you ask, nope, we're not going to leave you hanging. We're going to show you all the amenities and activities.
We're going to have some activities because of the Memorial Day weekend. There's a DJ, there's, I think, raffles, lots of fun stuff to do.
And we got to talk about how we went from this beautiful view to this. And of course, the sights. All coming up right now as we show you Quinebaug Campground. Welcome back, folks. Thanks for riding along. This is a crazy week, crazy episode. A lot to talk about. While we check in here, run and grab a beer and a snack and hurry on back. Because you're not going to want to miss a second of this one.
Brimfield, Mass. Quniebaug. Is that how you say it? All right, so we came from the Adirondacks to Massachusetts, Brimfield, Massachusetts, at a private campground called Quinebaug Cove. Now, we are on some tent sites, and like we said, we're trying to be near the water. Well, check this out. The sun is shining. Beautiful, beautiful spring day. When is summer? I guess I spoke too soon because, like I said, these were tent sites. We weren't anticipating
This. Yep. First RV pulls in, then the second, and the third, and the fourth, and there's no way in hell I'm going to stare at the side of an RV for 3 days. Well, I know it doesn't look normal, but who's to say what normal is? We had to set it up this way so we could have a view of down there. I had to climb up on the roof in order to have a view. When we first got here, oh Lord, we had the most beautiful view. We've been dealing with rain every single week since the beginning of last season at White Pines. Excuse me. We did 20-something episodes and there wasn't a single weekend where it didn't rain. Well, here we are, Memorial Day weekend, and it's going to be the best weekend we've had in 2 years. And instead of, more of the story, I could have booked the site beyond this massive ass Class A, and we would literally be directly on the lake. And I'm going to show you in a second here. I chose to come up here in the corner and get a nice site, which is a gorgeous site. Don't get me wrong, we're away from folks. We're, you know, we have our own little chunk of land, dirt here. But I messed up. This is a tenting area. And do you see any tents anywhere? I figured to be nice, and that was the other thing. Like last week, for instance, the way you saw us parked, we wanted to park horizontally. I parked vertically because I didn't want to ruin the folks' view of beautiful Shroon Lake. Long story short, I wanted to be a good guy and park back here so we wouldn't be in the tenter's view. Well, guys, there isn't a single freaking tent here, and if anything, I have the worst view in the whole joint. I overthought it, and Mr. Nice Guy Friendly finishes last. You know the saying. But here we are. Put up and shut up, D.
What's that? My tent on our head. My tent's under that shit right there.
If you've been watching the news lately, you can see tornadoes are wreaking havoc throughout the country. And the Northeast is no different, no exception. Look what happened here at the campground on the East Coast in Massachusetts. This thing caused a path of destruction. But today, this campground is back to being as beautiful as ever. It's like Satan hit them, and they hit Satan right back. And I think that's what the merit of this episode is going to be. Just continuing on, fighting back, getting up when you're knocked down. You know all the sayings. And I think that's why you can feel that here. There's a lot of positive energy. And while on the subject of energy, we are pooped. We just rode our bikes around here and it is hilly. So it's time for me to kick up my feet, have a beer, watch the night skies, and talk about our monthly subscriptions. You can become a member for as little as $2.99 a month, guys, if you'd like to help us out. That's that. Here we are, morning of day 2. And there's my buddy, Shaba. Time for a couple cups of Joe and for us to get out there and show you guys what this place looks like. There's a lot to cover. And I think we'll start with the amenities and activities.
So it's a beautiful day. They're going to have some activities because of the Memorial Day weekend. There's a DJ, there's, I think, raffles, lots of fun stuff to do.
Check out the pool. There's everything here. Camp store, hay rides, free cable. There's Wi-Fi in the rec hall, a clean, full laundromat. And the fishing is awesome. Trout, pickerel, etc. There's canoes and kayaks to take on this beautiful lake.
Now, like we said when we first got here, we had anticipated this being all tenting. When we booked this, it was totally free, and we were going to get the site by the water, and 2 reasons. One, we said if we park sideways, we might block the view for others, and possible if flooding, but that doesn't seem like it would ever be an issue here. That being said, we get here and it's not for tenting, but this is why we do this, so that you guys would know before you go. Know before you go, watch Deefamlee. So now you know that you can bring a small trailer here, although there are some big ones. Just be in mind that you won't have the amp power, the wattage to run it, but it is a nice spot. Probably the best spot of the campground, I think. If you wanted to leave, you can go into town and see one of the largest antique shows. They do a couple times a year.
Yup, and believe it or not, it's actually the biggest in New England. There's also an awesome winery in town, so be sure to check that out. And there's this cool 5-mile kayaking canoeing trail. All right, let's check out these sites. But before we do, remember in the tenting section where we are, there's only 20 and 30 amp hookups. There is no sewer, but there is a honey wagon that comes around. Here's site 632 to our site 620. This is up on the Eagle's Nest, a perfect view of the lake from up here.
Another plus is that they do sell firewood and they do deliver it to your site.
See, this area is called the Meadows. This was at the beginning when you seen the destruction from the tornado. There's something for everyone here. I don't care if you have a Class A, as you've seen, they got those into a tent section. But some of the sites are mixed in, so you're gonna have some seasonals with your weekenders. The tenting section is more for weekenders itself. So know what you're looking for before you book here. And booking is easy. You can do that right online. What would a camping trip be without Lee burning every scrap of wood she could find? Well, while we hang out here by the fire, I want to show you guys next week's episode. Check it out. Woohoo! Guys, we are taking you to our favorite of the year so far. Dar State Forest in Massachusetts. Look how beautiful this is. This is the epitome of a state park, guys. And look, lady found her new friend, or friends, or enemies.
So here we are.
There's a private beach here. There is so much to do, and the sights are beautiful. You're not going to want to miss it.
Until next week, we love you guys.
Subscribe now.